Inception, while centering its motivations and plot around dreams, is actually a film about an idea. A film that people are more concerned about understanding the logic of a dream within a dream, rather than the subconscious of Cobb where the whole film unfolds. A psychological study was conducted at New Haven, Yale University, using cold and hot coffee to show how powerful the subconscious, or more referred to as the unconscious, mind is. Participants were given no instruction on the study, and were not aware of what was being done. When holding a cup of either a hot or cold beverage, they were asked about a fictional character, explained by some random characteristics written on a piece of paper. The students with the colder beverage explained this hypothetical character as a colder, selfish person, while the ones with the hot beverage explained the exact opposite. Psychologists refer to this as priming, and contrary to popular belief, was not intended for hypnotism or subliminal seduction. It was rather to study how and why our choices were made, and how the environment of what's around us affects our conscious thinking on such a deep level we don't even have time to process it. And this is all in the hidden context of Christopher Nolan's 2010 film, Inception. Well, yes, the concept of going a dream within a dream isn't necessarily hidden in the film. It does serve as a cover for what I believe to be the actual point of the narrative: Cobb's guilt. After the death of Mal, Cobb feels the enormous guilt of killing her, of course not being directly responsible, but without a doubt having influenced her final decision of choosing to take a leap of faith. Mal being obsessed with the fact of a train, and where it will take them but they can't know for sure. Being driven by the fact that the reality is always going to be counterfeit. Thinking they didn't grow old together and denying the truth of the actuality of what happened. The constant spinning of a conceptually wrong idea that submerges itself deeper into Mal's unconscious mind, more than it was ever intended to go, shows the true power of an idea explained by Cobb at the beginning of his story found in this narrative. This all contributes to the idea of planting an idea in someone's head, known as the film's title, Inception. But what if that someone was yourself? What if you want to convince yourself an idea so powerful that you could never find out who gave it to you? After feeling the responsibility of his wife's death, Cobb needs to free himself of the guilt thrown over him about Mal, and the only way to do that is to plant his own idea in his unconscious mind, to take hold of it so he can go back and see his kids again. All of the people we find through the film are just projections, and who probably actually exist in the real world have no place in Cobb's conscious mind. He leads himself to getting lost even further into his subconsciousness to the point of him not being able to differentiate between what is real and what isn't, just as he said not to do.
Because building a dream from your memory is the easiest way to lose your grasp on what's real and what is a dream.
All of the projections around him have their own ideas and conversations, but never actually reach too far before bringing their conversation back to Cobb's subconscious. The whole film revolves around Cobb no matter which characters are on screen. Many projections in fact try to tell him he's still dreaming, by either referring to lines that are influential to his life, or convincing him that what he believes is wrong. You could even take the translation of Edaf Piaf's song that Cobb uses to wake people up. No, I regret nothing. Not the good that has been given, not the bad, it's all the same to me. It is paid, done, forgotten. I don't care about the past. My pains, my pleasures, I don't need them anymore. I'm done with the loves and all their troubles. The original take of the song is 2 minutes and 28 seconds, while Inception is 2 hours and 28 minutes, and how even the score composed by Hans Zimmer is a slowed down version of said song. Cobb is searching for a way to plant an idea so deeply in his head he would have no recollection of who gave it to him when he is in his unconscious state. This is explained by symbols throughout the film, like water claimed by Carl Jung to represent the unconscious, or mazes symbolizing the ever-complicated structure of our mind when we are in our unconscious state, explained by Marie-Louise Franz, or even how the train gives us a 2D perspective of life itself. All of this pushes Cobb's conscious mind deeper and deeper into his dream state, spinning his mind into something so far from reality as the top does in the same way. The top is meaningless for exposing reality, due to the ownership bestowed upon it beforehand by Mal, creating a paradoxical idea of the top being the symbol for Inception. Namely, it's how our dreams are reflected by a circle, continuously spinning, that our consciousness doesn't have time to process them, or how the film starts in medias res, consequently making the movie to be a circle in itself. All of these paradoxical ideas allow us to add itself to examining this film as a symbol for filmmaking. A symbol for love, for death, for memories, and for ideas. All these go hand in hand to create something that interweaves itself so beautifully, just as a maze does, creating something so complex but so personal to Christopher Nolan, who visualizes himself as Cobb, Just like the characters of Ariadne, the production designer, Arthur, the producer, and Neebs, the actor. This keeps the congruent nature of the film by examining it as something that can't be fictitious, and can only be genuine, showing the true repercussions of death from guilt, and allowing memories to take hold of us in a detrimental way. But no matter how many filmmaking techniques you apply, no matter how big your CGI set pieces are, or how complex your symbols are, there has to be a point. So what is the point? Christopher Nolan created something that implores us to ask questions. Questions that often don't have answers, visualizing the point of it not mattering. It doesn't matter if the top is spinning at the end. It doesn't matter if Cobb has been in his unconscious mind throughout the entire runtime of the film. It doesn't matter if this is an allegory for filmmaking, or is a love letter to Nolan's career. All that matters is that Cobb has accepted his reality by letting go of the guilt he feels over his past. Inception is a film that shows us the true nature of its complexity. Not by the medium of dreams, but instead the medium of an idea. An idea that Christopher Nolan planted in our conscious mind about ours and Cobb's reality being one and the same. And that is how Christopher Nolan incepted us.